that I had when I started to teach in Middletown was a older lady, very stern looking. She would come into my classroom and sit down. You were expected to have your lesson plans prepared. She would grab her pen, and while you're up there with the kids, and when I would rush back to see what she wrote, did you see that Tommy had a book he was reading when he was supposed to be listening to you? That young girl over there is brighter than that. You do not give her a regular book. And she would go on and on. But you know what? That year of having that kind of training made me a better teacher. Until finally, the last one she wrote, "It's such a pleasure to come into your room." Oh. She doesn't know how hard I worked for that one sentence. Well, it was Sputnik which came out there. The Russians were the ones that beat us into space. And so that was the time when, I think it was Jack Anderson, if I remember the name correctly, said, we need to get our youngsters interested in science, because science was not, it was sort of an afterthought. But he proceeded to say, we can't have it as an afterthought. It needs to be an important part of their education. And this is when I started my after-school program. And I believe all of my kids stayed after school.
Your entire class?
Yeah, they just, yeah. It was not necessary, it was a choice. And I would always walk them across the major highways to be sure they were safely home. But they came back the next time. Oh, I mean, we built rockets out of toilet tissue tubes and larger tubes from wax paper, things like that. And the ROTC students that were close by helped us launch them. It was, you've never seen so much joy in a kid's face when a rocket that they had built themselves actually went off. I'd gone to school, college, Teachers College of Connecticut, and then came back and taught 3 years in Middletown, Connecticut, and happened to see an ad in the paper for the Department of Defense wanting teachers. I knew there was a bigger world out there. I needed to get out and see some of it. So lo and behold, I sent in an application, and a little while later, I got a phone call. These were still, I mean, you can tell how long ago this was. And at that point, the operator said, I have a telegram for you. Would you like me to read it to you or send it by mail? I mean, was there a question? And at that point, she said, we need an immediate answer. Will you teach next year in Goose Bay, Labrador? And I said, the answer is definitely yes. Hung up and went to find the atlas to find out where I would spend my next year. Had no clue where Goose Bay, Labrador was. And by the way, it's in Canada. Then it went into where they had the Spruce Goose, the only wooden plane, and you could climb up, and I mean, you climbed up to get to see where the cockpit was. And at that point, we had dinner under the wings of the Spruce Goose. I mean, I was so excited. And then finally, after all of the activities that we had, I came back and said, I'm going to learn how to fly. And I said, if I make it, wonderful. If not, I tried. And that's how, and I made it. So at age 55, I got my pilot's license. And with that, I started working with the 99s, the International Organization of Women Pilots, became the governor of the Southeast section, worked on the international board as the space educator and developed a program for educators. And I just had the best time. It was wonderful. And after all of that was over, I was inducted into the International Forest of Friendship out in Atchison, Kansas for all of the work I had done. And they're pay forward. I've set up scholarships for, I have a scholarship for women, and it's for $1,000 for a woman who is 30 or older. And I had, one year I had 7 applicants who wanted $1,000 so that they could go ahead and have lessons and finish up.
Good morning, one and all. Yes, let me just give you a little background story here on the Anam Cara Women's Circle of Faith UCC. It was formed in 2019. Anam Cara is an ancient Gaelic expression meaning soul friend, written about by Celtic theologian John O'Donoghue in his book, Anam Cara. Our circle is comprised of a few planning members, but everyone here is an Anam Cara. Whatever your gender, everyone is our soul friend. We are all Anam Caras. Over the years, we have planned and hosted several diverse programs that many of you have attended. Together Women Rise lunches, annual teas, random acts of flowers, labyrinth walks, plays, yes, plays, movies, mahjong, and more. We hope that you enjoy today's special service as we celebrate International Women's Day and Women's Her Story Month. And here is a blessing poem written by John O'Donohue for friendship. May you be blessed with good friends and learn to be a good friend to yourself. Journeying to that place in your soul where there is love, warmth, and feeling. May this change you. May it transfigure what is negative, distant, or cold within your heart. May you be brought into real passion, kindness, and belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, be there for them, and receive all the challenges, truth, and light that you need. May you never be isolated, but know to embrace and know the embrace of your Anam Cara. Amen.
Thank you, Esther. So Esther and I are co-chairs of Anam Cara, and this is one of the things that we host. Each year, the month of March is considered Women's Herstory Month, and so we do a lot during March, but we do a lot throughout the year. So thanks, Esther, for giving that little synopsis of what Anam Cara is. And anybody that would be interested in joining in our leadership circle or participating, or if you have an idea for a program, please see any one of us. You're going to see us during the service this morning. So I want to welcome everyone. I'm Barbara Turner Delisle, member here. I'm a retired minister, and I just want to welcome everybody. We're so excited today because we have our own Mayor of Dunedin, Freaney. And she will be delivering the message in a little while. And we see Jeff Gow, our commissioner, is in the house. Do we have any other Dunedin dignitaries here that I missed this morning? So just a little bit about International Women's Day. It's about gender equality in all its forms. It's about fighting for women's rights, reinforcing key commitments, celebrating success, or it can even be about festive gatherings and parties. All activity helps contribute to and forms part of the thriving global International Women's Day movement that is focused on gender equality. It's truly inclusive, diverse, and eclectic moment of impact worldwide. So there are other congregations and people around the world that are celebrating women today, and there have been celebrations a day before or a day after, but it's truly a time to raise women up, right? So at work, at home, and in the community, there are many ways to overtly advance women. Our Anam Cara leadership team members will now share some of the ways you can help support women in an effort to establish gender equality. So I'd like to invite Elizabeth Rathbun, and Marge Miller, and Sandy Whitman, and Nikki Amarantidis to lead us.
Give respect, give donations, give visibility, give knowledge, give funding, give justice.
Give resources, give a voice, give protection, give truth, Give equal pay. Give celebration.
Give sponsorship, give mentoring, give credit, give budget, give introductions, give workshops.
Give opportunities, give safety, give training, give momentum, give role models, give access, and give time.
Thank you. And now we're going to do something a little unique. We don't do this too often in our service, but for today and any International Women's Day, there's always a pose that they adopt. And for today, it's this pose of cupped hands together. And we would like to take a picture of the whole congregations. For those of you who can stand, who are able to stand and willing, if you would stand up, and the choir. And we're going to have a little photo op here. Cynthia from the choir is going to take a picture facing this way, and Mike's going to take a picture of the choir. So here we go. All set, smile, everyone. All right. Okay, thank you, everyone, and you can be seated. So this is the time in the service that we usually share our joys, and I don't have a list. Are there some joys that people would like to share this morning? Yes. Your granddaughter is here, yay! Wonderful. Any other joys this morning?
Ron's in the house.
Ron's in the house. Yay. Nice to see you. Yay. Anyone else? Choir? No? All right, we're here. We're all here, and that's a huge joy. Look at this place. This place is a joy. This place is a joy. All right, so I'd like to invite Elizabeth Rathbun up to lead us in our moment of centering.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. So I'd like to take this time to find a place of stillness and centering. You can begin by just maybe finding your breath, taking a moment, maybe feeling your feet on the floor. And if you want to, closing your eyes or bringing them to a soft gaze. I will be reading the poem Rise, Woman, Rise by Jolly Muhuri Samui. She carries galaxies in her quiet breath and sunrise in the small curve of her smile. The world may try to measure her in shadows, but she was born of light, ancient, steadfast, and wild. She walks through storms with open hands, collecting every drop of strength they bring. Her footsteps soften mountains into pathways, and her voice, a trembling spark at first, grows into a fearless wing. Let no one tell her she is less than wonder. Let no doubt dim the fire in her eyes. For every time she falls, she rises brighter. A testament that courage always finds its sky. So rise, woman, rise. Not because the world asked it, but because your spirit was made to soar. And may you never forget, there is power in your softness, thunder in your heartbeat, and a universe waiting inside your door. Thank you.
Morning. Today's readings come from three exceptional and, might I say, diverse women. Although they are all gone from us, their words are so appropriate for today's celebration of International Women's Day, and may their words live on forever. The first reading is from our beloved Mother Teresa, who said, "I cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG, said these profound words: "Fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." I actually have a t-shirt with that quote. And activist Angela Davis, from back in the day, put a new spin on the words from the Serenity Prayer that we all know so well, when she said, "I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept." I want to repeat that. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. And with these words in our hearts and minds, I am honored, believe me, I am honored to be introducing our keynote speaker, to the Honorable Mayor Maureen Mo Freaney, to today's International Women's Day celebration. We all know her as Mo. She was elected as mayor of Dunedin in November 2024, and she truly exemplifies all the qualities that a position of that importance should possess. Mo has lived in Dunedin since 1984 and has extensive professional and government experience. Isn't that refreshing? A graduate of Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, she holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice studies and a Master of Business Administration degree from Kent State. Mo has been a longtime member and supporter of all things Dunedin: the Dunedin Fine Arts Center, the Dunedin Historical Museum, the VFW, American Legion, the Dunedin Friends of the Library, and Friends of Island Parks, and many more. Over her illustrious career, she has served as Dunedin's liaison and a board member to many groups, including some close to our hearts: Mies Manor Retirement Community, Dunedin Cares, and many more. I am honored and humbled to be introducing Mayor Mo Freaney to deliver today's message, Journey to Pride. Please welcome her now.
Good morning. So I do have to say, when I was hearing all this women's stuff, I just have to, before I start, it made me think in 2016 when I got elected for the first time as a city commissioner, it was the first time in history that there were 4 women out of the 5 members of the commission. 4 women, first time in history. Now, guess how many women there are out of the 5 of us now? There's 1. But she's the mayor. But I will say, I work side by side with 4 very special men, and Jeff is one of them. And we are lucky because they're all very good supporters of inclusiveness and just this type of community, the kind of community we are, that just loves people, loves everyone. So thanks, Jeff, for being here. So I'm not typically vulnerable. I like to hide a little bit. It may not seem that way as mayor, but I'm going to be a little vulnerable today. Barbara asked me to talk about my story, my justice story, my justice journey. And anyone who really knows me, who's close to me, knows that's a big, loaded subject for me, filled from the early age with confusion, with shame, with fear, with struggles, but finally to freedom and to pride, which is I called my story today, Journey to Pride. First, I'll do a little trivia, although a few things just already got added, so I'll skip over that. So I was born on Seneca Indian Reservation in Salamanca, New York, Western New York, which is a story for another day. Moved to Ohio at 4 years old, middle-class family, Catholic, loving parents, 3 brothers, no sisters, always had my own room. My dad was my hero. He taught us not to react on emotion, but to think first, then act. 12 years Catholic school. After graduating from Kent State University, I followed my first partner to a place some of you may have heard of down south called Dunedin. I was a kid out of college in Dunedin. I've lived in Scottsdale, Braemore, and now in Santa Barbara Drive. I started working for the city in 1984 as a management analyst, moved my way up to the ladder to assistant city manager, then interim city manager in 2006. At the same time, I also sang at Our Lady of Lourdes Contemporary Group. I led the group for 22 years, 7 p.m. Saturday Mass. Every Saturday we did it, and I also did weddings, funerals. First funeral I ever did was for a 10-year-old who died of cancer, and the song we sang for the meditation was Here Comes the Sun. And that's why it always actually makes me tear up. And of course, I used to sing the anthems at the Highland Games. And I eventually never did get a pilot's license, though. I just want to make sure. I can't top that one. That's awesome. My justice journey was really all about going from shame and fear to pride. I've lived the pride journey. I knew and felt something very different when I was as young as 12 years old. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know who to ask. In my generation, there was no perspective. Nothing was on television. There were no role models in magazines. Heck, I don't even think gay people were off the psychological index of being mentally ill. That's the world I grew up in. Kids now, they're pretty lucky, even though there's still a lot of struggles. So as a kid, and through my teenage years and young adult years, what did I do? Did what a lot of kids did. I repressed the feelings I didn't understand. I knew they weren't acceptable. I just tried to fit in other ways, which mainly was through my sense of humor. Eventually, I knew my feelings were real and different from the norm. I fell in love and knew my feelings were good, and they were honest, and they were right. And I had to be and I had to love in my way. But I still hid. And I protected myself from my family, from my friends, and from my coworkers. I was not only in a closet, guys. I was in the box, in the box, in the box, in the closet. And Peg, my partner, is here, and she will say that, because when she got with me, people were like, why are you getting with her? She is so closeted. But I truly felt at the time that I could live that way, and I could die that way. And I was so wrong. So in my late 30s, I basically imploded. Actually had a clinical depression. All my repressed feelings came out, and I knew in order to have a healthy life, I had to change. So I began to make changes. I became more transparent with my family, with my friends, and even with some of my coworkers. I left one relationship and started another. Thank God Peg was willing to take me as I was. Peg's journey was healthier than mine, and she helped me to grow and be proud of every part of me. And here we are, Peg and I, 30 years later. And I should have said, actually, my brother's here as well. My brother Joe is here. And just on the side, in my family, we're 2 gay, 2 straight. So we were the new millennium group. And my brother and I both, my brother's husband is Doug, and my wife is Peg. So today, I really want to focus on a very pivotal moment in my life, in my journey from shame to pride. It happened when I was in my 40s. At the time, I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. It was devastating. An advisor of mine told me at the time, you may find out it's the best thing that ever happened to you. And I said, yeah, you're crazy. So after working for Dunedin about 10 years, Peg and I became partners. She also worked for the city. We bought a house together. Our relationship was known by many in the city, but more importantly, our bosses. Forward 10 years from then, 2006, my dream was to be the next city manager. I was the heir apparent Of course, Peg would have to leave her job if I got the job. Either way, it wasn't meant to be. During that time, unlike now, where we debate, but we don't get ugly, there was a lot of infighting and politics within the City Commission of Dunedin. John Lawrence, who was the current city manager at the time, retired early because of it. I was named interim city manager, but even that was a fight. Shortly after I became interim, Tampa Bay Times did a newspaper article making the issue of me owning a home and living with another city employee, Peg. And the title of the article was, never forget it, Leaders, Relationship, or Risk. It was a big blow to me professionally and personally. It basically outed Peg and I as a couple. My mom was in town, which made it even worse. I was devastated. But I was leading the city, and I didn't have the luxury of shutting down. But I wanted to. I sure wanted to. I remember the lead article happened on Thursday, Leaders, Relationship, or Risk. Then there was an editorial on Friday, Officials, Relationship is a Potential Problem. On Saturday, I was the lead singer for the 7 p.m. Mass at Our Lady Lourdes Catholic Church. Okay, just get your head around that. And I had been the leader of that Mass for a long time. I knew a lot of people. That was tough. I was just out in the St. Pete Times, and the last thing I wanted to do was sing at Mass, but I did. I was practicing the back before the Mass, and Father Madden, who some of you know him, his name came up when I was talking to a couple of you today, who I loved, the pastor came in, and he said, Mo, I'm so proud of you for being here. It takes a lot of courage. So I did the 1-hour Mass with my insides quaking, but I did it. I held it together. Father Madden called me the next day because he wanted to tell me a story. After Mass, the lead usher, who I'd known, both him and his wife, for years because of doing the Mass, came up to Father Madden. He said, Father, the article about Mo, what do you think? Father Madden said, what do you think? And he watched as this usher weighed the question. And then he finally said, well, we love Mo. He said to me then, you're stretching minds, Mo. You're putting a face on something that people don't understand. The following week, something interesting happened. Cards, emails, letters to the editor, phone messages poured in from Dunedin residents and employees, messages of love and support. The following commission meeting, Dr. Bill Hale, I don't know if any of you know him, he's been gone for a while, but he is who Hale Senior Center is named after, spoke on behalf of a packed commission chamber. He spoke in support of Peg and I. As heartwarming as it was, and it was really heartwarming, it took everything in me to sit on the City Hall dais and handle being in the middle of this swirl of controversy. That being said, I still call that night my It's a Wonderful Life moment. Tampa Bay Times did a great article about that night, which, hello, they owed me that one, right? Of course, unfortunately, there were more articles to come. I went from not anyone to know about my personal life and my sexuality, and I brought this because I went looking for it, to being on page 11 of the gay newspaper, Watermark. I didn't even know what the magazine was or what it was, okay? I mean, I was in the, it's page 11. I'm just going to open it. And, of course, it had to be the sex issue. It was the sex issue. Yeah, I mean, there was no mercy for me, okay? And there it is. Dunedin officials consider interim manager's relationship. For 10 years, Maureen Freaney and Peg Cummings have shared a home on Santa Barbara Drive in this coastal town with very little fanfare. That changed when Freaney became Dunedin's interim city manager earlier this month. All hell broke loose. I think I can say that here, right? Anyway, seriously, that about blew my mind. I have to say, when I went back looking for it, because I knew like it was in something that blew me away at the time, but I was so shamed. I never really looked at it, but I had it. Like, I was actually really stunned when I found out it was a sex issue. I'm really glad I didn't know that at the time. Anyway, then the city commission decided on the recruitment process, and it was a fight. Everything was a fight. And then we used to have elections in March. We got a new commission, which actually made it even worse. And the recruitment process totally changed, and everything was a fight. And that's when I decided I had to leave Dunedin. Didn't stop living here, of course. But I called a friend, chief assistant county administrator at the county, and I said, I've got to leave Dunedin. It's not a healthy place for me anymore. It broke my heart. So ultimately, days before the final selection process was to end, and even if I was selected, it wouldn't have been fertile soil. I submitted my resignation to go to a higher paying job at the county, and I always have to say this because Peg loves it. The article title for that one on the front page of the newspaper was, Freaney accepts higher paying job. And I have to say, there were a lot of going on in the city. And then cards, emails, messages, gifts, flowers poured in to me from all parts of Dunedin. Love and support and best wishes. I have some of the stuff in my office today that people sent me. But it was tough. I hid my pain from all but the closest to me. Still a tough story to tell. I put so much of my heart into Dunedin. It was like a death, it really was. And I grieved. I worked 3 more weeks for Dunedin, and I did everything I could to leave it in the best possible shape. I started at the county. Of course, I felt like a kindergarten kid after being 22 years in the city of Dunedin. But the county embraced me, and I was so amazed with how quickly I adapted and grew and became a force in the county, ultimately being promoted to assistant county administrator. I spent 9 years there. So what are the lessons I learned? First of all, I always say, bloom where you're planted. You know, we all know that. Things don't always go the way you think. Don't stay and be a victim. Go to fertile soil. Sometimes people just want change, and it doesn't matter who you are. You can't be that change. Keep leading even when you don't want to, because that's what leaders do. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, just like the song says, and be proud of who you are. And most important to me, let go of things. Don't hold grudges. I have great relationships today with people who were part of the reason I left Dunedin and went to the county. Move on. Let things go. Remember, you never know who you're going to touch or change just by showing up. So on the personal side, being publicly outed, it was tough. And I think back to what that person said to me. You may find this was the best thing that ever happened to you. Right? Seriously? But you know, it kind of was. Because it took a stick of dynamite to all my fears and all my shame and people knowing I was a gay woman, and it just blew it up all over the place. It blew it up. After the devastation, I realized it freed me. I was free, and I was okay. I was okay. It made Peg and I stronger, brought my mom and I closer. It showed me how much I was loved and respected in the city of Dunedin by the citizens. And I can tell you one thing, when I went to the county to work, no one asked me if I was married or who my husband was, because they'd read it in the paper. I was free. And if I hadn't gone to the county, I would not have had the wealth of relationships I have in the county that helps me be a better mayor even today. I wouldn't have found my best friend, Peggy Rowe, who was the HR director for the county, still best friends. And Peg and I would never have found who is now our adopted daughter, Ellen. And we are Nanamo and Nana Peg to our 4.5-year-old grandson, Toby, who is brilliant and handsome, of course. We never know the many paths that life can take us. I'm grateful for the unlikely path that mine has taken. And so now, Peg and I just celebrated 50 years together. I'm sorry, 30. Oh, wow. Yeah, sorry, 30. Wow. If you're going to make a mistake in a speech, that is not the mistake to make. Okay, so everybody say it, 30. I'm Nana DeToby. I'm mayor in the city of Dunedin, in the city I love. When I was sworn in as mayor, 22 of my family came from 5 different states to be here. I stood proudly during my oath with Peg, with Ellen, with Toby, and with my mother beside me. 6 days later, on November 24th, 2024, carrying the love and support of our families, Peg and I flew to Las Vegas, Nevada, and got married in the lucky little chapel. And it wasn't by Elvis. I just want to make sure it was not Elvis. It was a really special woman minister. And you know what? I was so excited. I told all my fellow commissioners, and they shared our joy and our excitement. And isn't that a wonderful thing? So I'm just going to take you back as I close to the quote by Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Quote, "Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you." That really resonated more than any one of the quotes to me. So my way is to be the mayor of Dunedin, and by being mayor helps me to forge change in a positive way. Not as the first openly gay mayor of Dunedin, even though I am, but as someone who strives to be a good mayor, a caring mayor, an inclusive mayor, who happens to be a gay woman. A gay woman who is living authentically and is proud of who she is. And this mayor, being proud of who she is, hopes to change more hearts and minds along the way for those who might not yet understand. And that is my story. Thank you. Thank you very much.
trying to recover from Mayor Mo, from Marie. I mean, it's just been such an amazing morning. And can we clap one more time? So I need to center and join me, please, in offering up prayers for individuals. Do you have any that you'd like to say out loud to the group right now? People that have been on your heart. Yeah, just.
Vicki Mumford, she has to get a shoulder surgery.
Okay, yep.
Diana Doan, having some eye issues.
Yes.
Steve, with pneumonia, is not in our choir.
Not in March.
Yeah.
My nephew Eric, who's having a lot of mental health issues.
Roger, recovering from hip replacement. Leslie, Karina.
Sonny.
Okay. Others? I have here John Hancock and Molly. John is still in the ICU recovering from a fall and brain bleed. He is no longer intubated and are extending the time he can breathe on his own each day. So please continue praying for John and Molly and the family. And as we've already mentioned, Roger Fortier had hip replacement surgery last week after a fall, and he's been in rehab for almost a week and is making good progress. He'll be in rehab for a few more days. And of course, Don and Marge Miller, continuing prayers for Don as he receives treatment for cancer, and Marge as she supports him during this challenging time. And this is a challenging time. So if we also want to offer prayers for places in the world and our concerns for people who are struggling right now, I want to offer up time for you to say those names.
Ukraine,
The families of the children who died in the war.
The U.S.
the entire Middle East,
Iran.
Haiti.
Gaza,
Yeah, the whole world. So join me in this prayer. Spirit of God, you are the restless breath of love that sweeps through the world. You move where you will, breaking down barriers, stirring hearts to change, and making all things possible. Inspire each one of us to hunger and thirst for justice. Spirit of God, sweep through our world, bringing great change so that we may act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with you all the days of our lives. And please remind girls and women, immigrants and the imprisoned, the hungry and the unhoused, to stop and listen and hear hope, to hear the sound of a whole new world on its way. We pray, Lord, in your strong name. Amen. And now, please join me in praying the womanist version of the Lord's Prayer. Our Mother, who is in heaven and within us, we call upon your names. Your wisdom come, your will be done, in all the spaces in which you dwell. Give us each day sustenance and perseverance. Remind us of our limits as we benediction on us, now and forever. Amen.
So what's happening? We have a few announcements now. One I just received on my way up. Social justice team is meeting on Tuesday at 7? 6:30. At 6:30. So if you're on that committee or if you'd like to join, please come Tuesday night, 6:30, right here in our hospitality space. Also, the Monday Night Learners with Nan Dahlberg is continuing. Everything you wanted to know about the UCC, but were afraid to ask. And you know, that's on Monday nights at 7, 4 weeks. You can see the dates up there. All right. And we have our Oscar night coming up, everyone. Come dressed in your finery, and you get to walk the red carpet and everything. So that's Sunday, March 15th at 5:30. And come dressed as you are or dress up. Some show up in gowns, some show up in a tuxedo T-shirt, whatever. So welcome to join us, 5:30. And then this is very special. We're starting a program called Meaningful Matinees on Saturdays, and probably it may happen one Saturday a month. The first one is Saturday, March 21st at 2 p.m. right here, and you'll get to hear or see the film Triumph, which is about Tampa's untold chapter in the civil rights movement. Pretty powerful. Have any of you seen it already? No, it's really powerful. So put that down on your calendars to come here at 2 o'clock. There'll be popcorn and fellowship and a great movie. Okay. And the second walking tour for Dunedin's Black History is happening this Wednesday, March 25th. And that's at 5 p.m. So this is just a repeat for what some of us went on last, what was that, Saturday or Sunday? Sunday. Yeah, that was part one. This is part two, but it's not a different tour. It's the same tour. So just those who haven't attended that, or if you want to do it again, that's fine. And you just bring your money, $20 there, and give it to the person that's the guide that's leading it. Yeah. All right. So, what an incredible service, right? Oh. And what an incredible church we have. There's such abundance here. And if you're feeling called in your heart to give to this church, there are plates in the back, and or you can go online and, this is a different slide. I'll get back to that. So Anam, Cara, Women's Council is every other month we have a program called Women Rise. And this is a program to support women from many places around the world. And this next month, April 4th, the focus is on Africa, Uganda. And you get to see a presentation about preparing rural young women and youth to become thriving social entrepreneurs. So it's a wonderful program. You bring a dish to share. It's about an hour long. And it's fellowship, and you get to support women around the world. So thank you. And now it's time for our giving statement. So again, plates in the back if you are here visiting and you'd like to make a donation. or you can go online to PayPal, and we'll always accept your gracious giving. So thank you very much. Anything else? Any other announcements? No? Yes.
I want to invite you all to hear the Father turns around and ascertain, and all the women of Anam Cara have worked so hard over the years to make this a reality. A big round of applause.
So that's your Anam Cara Women's Council, but you can be a part of that as well. So just see any one of us if you're interested. And seeing no other announcements, let us then, we'll move into our closing song of Let There Be Peace on Earth. But I also want to invite you to gather in the gathering space for some delicious cake. Everybody loves cake, and other refreshments, and for socializing. Saying a word of welcome to Mayor Mo, to Jeff Gow, to each other, and just enjoying time with each other. So we also have these beautiful flowers, and there's one for every woman in here and maybe more. So as you leave today, make sure there'll be 2 people standing in back and handing out the flowers for anybody who would like one. So thank you very much. And now let us sing our way out of here with our song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. You're welcome to hold hands or touch elbows or just enjoy together.